Big old bell, big old bell, big old bell, big old bell. All I really want is that big old bell, big old bell, big old bell, big old bell. All I really need that big old bell, big old bell, big old bell, big old bell. All I really want is that big old bell, big old bell, big old bell, big old bell. Big old bell, at Rio Manolo.
If you don't dance to your own theme song, then that means it sucks.
If you don't have your own theme song, then what are you doing?
What's up, folks? Nagier and Miranda here. And there's something a little different this week because we're live on YouTube. And what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about Bound for Glory, my review of it. We both watched it. We kind of a little bit late. So I gave a good discretion that we were of age and that we were going to be a little bit tired. So we weren't going to do a post-show recap immediately following it. I did say that we would do it Sunday, but, you know, that sleep lasted for about 48 hours. And here we are on Tuesday getting our Bound for Glory review. No one hates us.
You got to do this refreshed and clear mind. You know, we wouldn't be doing the people justice if we came in sloppy on this. So that's why, you know, it took us a few days, but we're here to give you the best review of Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory.
This is true. This is true. Also, immediately following our review of Bound for Glory, our Impact Wrestling on Access TV review will be dropping on YouTube after the conclusion of it airing. So you have to bear with us because we already know what's happening for the night. So we're going to kind of keep things a little bit tied in their own perspectives here. So we are going to focus strictly on Bound for Glory. And Bound for Glory, Impact Wrestling's biggest night of the year, and it did deliver. There's tons of things I want to talk about: reflections, reactions, disappointments, excitements, all of the good stuff. So definitely, if you're watching live right now, jump in the comments, let us know what you think, and interact with us, and let's get going on the review. So I'm going to start off by saying, let's address the rumors now. The rumors swirling around potentially about this and that about Kylie Rae. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just start off by saying that by all means, we wish her the best, whether it's a speedy recovery, whether it's needed time off, whether it's decompression, whatever is being thrown out there. We're just going to positively say and wish the best for her to return back to Impact at whatever point given, so that we can get this mega match between her and Deonna Purrazzo. Obviously, it won't be for the title. Maybe it could be for the title. Who knows? Who knows how they're going to shape it out? I will say that I have to take my hats off to Impact in getting this match done and having it make sense. Mm-hmm. Now, we toured around the idea of Su Yung. We didn't know how it was going to work. We didn't call this for sure. Like
nobody. I can't say anybody called it laying out the way that it did. I think there was definitely some things about what would happen after a match between Deonna Purrazzo and Kylie Rae, but not the, you know, not going straight into it.
Yeah. So number one, I freaking jumped out of my seat when Su Yung music hit. I might be the biggest Su Yung mark out there. Like it just makes no sense how much I love that character, for the theatrics with it and just the pure wrestling. It's easily the best character in wrestling over the last 10 years. Like not even a question, consistently, and very happy with the result. And again, I think, you know, hats off to Impact for making this work. You had to call a plan B and you made the story make sense. It was a hell of a match, and you still got Kylie Rae as the wild card here as to, you know, how you can implement her into it, which if you actually think about this, Kylie Rae with the new added aggression that we were going to see manifest into something is now that wild card of we don't know where Kylie Rae is at. We don't know what Kylie Ray we're going to get. And now you're adding that into a picture with the undead bride and a mad Deonna Purrazzo, obviously. I don't even think we were ready for this. And I'm super excited as the possibilities. And I think, again, you know, things happen and respect to her personal life and whatever's going on. But for a creative and booking standpoint, like, this is good storytelling for the big, and again, it's their biggest night of the year. So all they have to do is reset going into the next night. You know, after the pay-per-view, you reset. But they were able to give a good match, tell a good story, and now give us another path going forward with this, and still keep everybody invested. Mm-hmm. I'm just still head over heels with it. But again, I just want to make sure we give our positive blessings away from the rumors, away from all the dirt sheet stuff, to Kylie Ray, whatever it may be going on. But we, as fans, obviously can't wait to see the possibilities of her being back into now this triangle of a situation.
Yeah. You know, it's hats off to Impact again. I think the Knockouts division is one of the most underrated divisions of all of pro wrestling. And it's a testament to them setting things up in a way where it makes sense in either direction they went in. Now, I know that there's other ways prior to this where they could have been more fed more into the story of Susie going back to Su Yung, but in hindsight. Mm-hmm. However, I think that it was Madison Rayne spoke beautifully about it during the show on her time on commentary of exactly how much of a wild card this was, that Deonna was prepared for Kylie, you know, and again had the setup of you know, her doing this open challenge and not necessarily addressing what happened to Kylie. Yes, I can understand how that fed into so many different rumors and speculation. However, as far as the result of the match and how it ended up working out, makes complete sense that Deonna was prepared for nothing of the sort and was completely thrown off guard. And that definitely played a role in her preparation and ultimately losing the Knockouts championship to Su Yung. Yeah. And I think it's again a great story that they can tell in the long term. Then and if you add Kylie Ray back into the mix, it's a triangle. So much layering and storytelling that happened here. And so I was very excited to see Su Yung back. It's a new Knockouts division from when she left as well. So there's so much that could happen. And I think ultimately it does seem like, you know, Deonna's time as Knockouts champion was going to be up sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. So the fact that now she's back in the chase for the belt in a way that she's never faced before, very different than Jordynne Grace, very different than Kylie Ray, you know, so we're going to be able to tell new stories through this. So, you know, it's one of the most unexpected things that happened throughout the night. A lot of unexpected things happened through the night as well. I know we'll get into it, but that was just one of them.
Yeah. At some point, we're going to have to eat our words. And I'm just wondering whenever you want to get ready to walk the plank on this one, because, yeah, talk about unpredictable, because the main event.
We were on this show last week thinking like the only sure thing we know is that Eric Young is going to retain the championship, and that
I might just delete that video, just that way there's no record of us saying that.
Out of all the prediction videos I've ever done, that literally had the worst prediction rate. Like, I think I only got like 20% of my predictions right. I just terrible prediction rate, which, you know, that could be seen as a good thing, that there was so many unpredictable things that happened. Just when you thought you knew what was going to happen, you got taken into a different direction. Yeah. You know, ultimately, I don't know if all of that is a good or a bad thing. You know, I'm still surprised, I think, is the biggest word when it comes to, you know, Eric Young losing the world championship to Rich Swann. I'm surprised.
The only thing I will say is Eric Young with the title, just it works. It visually works, and I think it's just a good beacon for the company. Like, considering everything that he's been through, considering the high reputation that everyone speaks of him, him being a champion and the face of your company is a no-brainer any given day. However, the character doesn't really need the championship. It absolutely enhances it And it doesn't hurt that he doesn't, but he's even more mad now. Like, he can take everything to the next level, considering, not being the champion. And as you'll see tonight on Access TV, Deonna and Eric Young both have things to say about them losing their titles. So, good heels can still remain amongst the elite, not having championship. I am the biggest advocate for a heel having a championship. I love faces chasing heels. I think it's just the best and easiest storytelling that you can do. But with them, eventually losing, it still works for them. So, but yeah, Rich Swann here. Now, this match, I will say, for the main event, Eric Young, Rich Swann, I was having a problem with it because Rich Swann, first of all, he killed it the whole day attire-wise, coming into the arena, the gear, everything. I was becoming a believer. I mean, I was feeling, the American dream story, as they like to say, not Dusty Rhodes, but literally the American dream, the Rocky, shall I say, storytelling of him coming in, being an underdog, and just, everything about him just really humble and somber, but he had a fighting chance. He came out, quick as day in the ring. Then he had the immediate injury that kind of lingered on. And I wasn't kind of buying that because I guess, again, I'm just so impartial about the idea of them playing this injury thing as hard as they did.
Yes, it was played out. I would say at that point, it's been played out for a while.
Yes, that's
literally, I mean, not to have a pun, they were using it as a crutch throughout the entirety of this program to build sympathy. And I feel like there's other ways that you could build sympathy and admiration for Rich Swann. We talked about it. His backstory, his commitment and love of wrestling. That is more of a true underdog story than this physical challenge that he had with his leg. Stop relying on that. Just stop it. And just build up the person.
That's exactly it for me. But nonetheless, the match was great. Great spots. The two of them, as you would expect, work well together. And it definitely was the nice ribbon and bow to top off the night. And obviously, Rich winning was the big feel-good moment that that you needed to kind of tie this story to the end. Well, until tonight, obviously, because like I said, Eric Young's going to have some things to say, and there's this thing called rematch clauses that you can absolutely guarantee that both of these now ex-champions will have something to say tonight. Again, plugging tonight, because that review for Impact on Access TV is coming immediately after the conclusion of it airing. As you said, we've already watched it, so there's that. But I just thought it was a really good match, good storytelling. Besides the being played out with the injury thing, took that away. The match went about like 20 minutes. You take some of that injury stuff away, then you cut it down some, and you could have kept it really good, high pace, and good spots. The two of them are very vocal, a bunch of grunts going on, and there's a lot of spit that I also could have did without, like almost too much spit coming in that match, and that's that. So, but yeah, like again for the main event and co-main event for the night, very very good matches to deliver a solid quality, their biggest pay-per-view of the year, to really put emphasis on it. So anyway, let's kind of jump around just a little bit here. Now, the 20 wrestler intergender call your shot gauntlet match. Obviously, Rhino winning. He had to eliminate Sami Callihan, who I had a feeling was going to be in that, especially after the press media call. But what I want to say to you is that where do you see Rhino? And now having this trophy, where do you see this going in the future now? Because
I don't know. I know that there's some indication we get on this week's Impact on Access TV. So again, plug that in so that you guys can watch. Just saying. It could go a few different ways. I mean, I think it would be interesting if we had a Rhino versus Heath program. that maybe, Rhino is, he did what he was supposed to do. He got his friend a contract. Maybe he doesn't, who knows? I could see, Rhino, I think, has had good work as a heel. Maybe Rhino decides to go his own way, and, he did what he needed to do, and now, he's going to take it out. I don't know. I don't know. Do I feel like it's going to lead to anything substantial? Honestly, no. I really don't. I don't think, it's going to lead to a big championship run or even a big match. I think that the gauntlet itself did its purpose by helping bring Heath into the company. But I don't really foresee it having any big meaning for Rhino. And I'm sorry. I just really don't. It's just more of a tool than it is, actual purpose.
The match was way too gimmicky for me. For it to be on the main card, I mean, this could have been a pre-show match. I mean, you clearly could have swapped this with the Deaners and the Rascals match.
Right? I was surprised. Or the fact that it wasn't the first match of the main card either.
Yeah, and again, the pre-show match was super, super short. But I think, that was still more making of a good quality match than what this gimmick match was. I mean, it was so intertwined with the Rhino and Heath thing that nothing else matters. Yeah, we got some surprises. James Storm, Sean Daivari, and Swoggle, who just goes everywhere.
Yes, yeah. But, and even then, I'm kind of disappointed on that's how James Storm came in. I mean, we literally seen some of the biggest debuts over the past, 4 months. And, the fact, and maybe it's a one-off, who knows? But I'd love to see James Storm back on Impact. I mean, he is someone you could automatically put into any title picture in any high-profile program, and it would instantly click and make sense. So that the fact that this is his reintroduction into the company, unless it's truly a one-off, then it was wasted.
Yeah, I mean, look, his physique is unspeakable right now. The guy is absolutely ready to go without a doubt. That's why he was being lobbied by so many promotions, as we know. But yeah, this wasn't the only thing that this match did for me is Brian Myers. You made him look strong. And Tommy Dreamer is him paying tribute to the Road Warriors. I appreciate that as well too. Besides that mini Doomsday device that happened, probably could have did without that. Like, didn't hate it, but didn't love it, but probably didn't need it. But like,
oh yeah, no, it definitely wasn't needed. But I mean,
too gimmicky. Like, I mean, when you pay respects like that, I mean, we're talking about the Road Warriors now, who are like legit toughest guys to ever walk in any wrestling promotion. I wouldn't quite make a mockery of it with a mini Doomsday. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd like to think that the Road Warriors had a sense of humor and they would have like that. I don't know them. I didn't know them personally. I'd like to think they would have had a sense of humor about it. I don't know. Tell
me one story you've ever heard of them having a sense of humor.
I just say it. I don't know. But I mean, this whole match was a device really for Rhino and Heath, and the purpose was served. And again, we had some great surprises, but especially James Storm, if he is truly back, even for a little while, he didn't need to show up. He could have shown up in a different way. So,
you want to talk about a way? Well, somebody was lacking a tag team partner at the in a match, and although the Motor City Machine Guns didn't win, you got one half of one of the greatest tag teams ever, and then you're bringing in somebody else who was one of the greatest tag teams in Impact history as well too. So, I mean, I don't know, make it work, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This wouldn't have been my introduction for James Storm. Like, it wouldn't have been at all. I mean, it just wouldn't have. But it is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, one of those weird things out of the night. I mean, this one we knew. We pretty much had a pretty solid feeling that, who was going to win. There was some great surprises in there, but it still let you kind of left your head scratching as to, some of the decisions they made throughout this match and even a little bit throughout the night.
Yeah. Ken Shamrock, Eddie Edwards. We definitely called this. I mean, as far as the result. But I will say, this is a very, very, first of all, Ken Shamrock going into the Hall of Fame, really well done,
Yes.
well spoken, like a true legend. Obviously, everyone talk about The Rock, Mick Foley, Bret Hart, all of them giving their Zoom. First of all, The Rock having bad internet and he being pixelated, I cannot see. That's how you know The Rock is so elite. No one said anything about that.
Oh, no. Well, The Rock is The Rock, He could have the worst internet in the world, and he's still the most electrifying man in sports entertainment,
Like, seriously. But nah, I was really cool to kind of hear their reflections on Ken Shamrock. And I cannot believe that I didn't realize that Ken Shamrock started wrestling first, then MMA.
Yeah.
I thought it was MMA.
Oh,
I thought him, Dan Severn, and somebody else, I can't remember who it was, started MMA and then went WWE. And I thought it was like just a world of like, much like we see now and people like transitioning, but never knew he started off wrestling first. So good for him because he was polarizing in whatever he did. But really good speech, well spoken like a legend. Really good moment for him, and without a doubt, this guy is a Hall of Famer, and not just Impact, but in all of wrestling, just because of again being a figure in the Attitude Era, his kind of revitalizing and rejuvenating himself back in Impact, and still being that polarizing character as we seen him. I thought worked his best match, period, this year with Eddie Edwards, completely. The lunatic that has gave me nightmares for years. What's up, Outlaw? Thanks for joining in with us tonight. Good to see you there in the chat. Hopefully all is well. But I gotta say, the Sami Callihan Ken Shamrock thing, feed me more of this. Like it was a good match.
It's
good
refreshing.
Intensity.
Yeah, like we are definitely seeing glimpses of really the world's most dangerous man, even at this point of his career. And I think Impact has been a resurgence for him. I mean, his time in other promotions was very short-lived, but also very striking, but now he's had a longer career in Impact than anywhere else. But also this pairing with him and Sami Callihan, to me, is refreshing. I'm starting to get used to this version of Sami Callihan. I think at the core of it, he's still Sami. But this whole reliance and edge on technology is still kind of weird to me. All about the hit. I don't know. But, and I think too, I mean, Eddie Edwards is still, I don't think he loses anything from this either. He's still one of the top wrestlers in the entire company. He's still part of the core of the elite. And, the fact that he got his ass beat by Ken Shamrock, hey, if anything, add that as just another milestone in his career, because how many people can really say that
he worked Ken Shamrock on his Hall of Fame night.
Yep,
that's a huge, right there. Put it on. Put the plaque on the wall right there.
Yes, yeah.
And again, in a really well done night for him. The tribute, the call-ins or video recording, the Zoom, the cameos, whatever the hell you want to call it, I thought was really good, really passionate. And it's truth to it. They didn't have to put Ken Shamrock over as if it was a lie. Ken Shamrock is exactly every bit of the person that they say he is. And you gotta take it for what it's worth. Ken Shamrock at his age is still out there working. He's healthy. He's in good physique. I can see about 3 or 4 more years of him, and he's working a semi full-time job, what I'll say. And even when he's not working, him in just vignettes or just cinematic matches, it's working for him right now. So good for him in not just taking a check, stealing a check. He's working right now, and that was a good match on their biggest card. Because again, the big thing is, it's like, well, why are they letting a Hall of Famer occupy a spot that somebody else could be using? Well, when you're gonna do a job like that, you better damn well give him a spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So good for them. And Eddie Edwards, I mean, working the guy and putting him over, however you want to put it. Good for them. 12 minutes on this match. So they worked a legit solid pace match, really bringing the best in them out. So good for them. Okay. Oh boy. Did we go to the X Division or did we go to the Control Your Narrative match?
I was gonna say, if we're gonna continue on this narrative with cinematic matches, we might as well jump to the Control Your Narrative match. The
Miranda, I am so disappointed. I just have to cut you off. I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
What? Oh, the entire thing. I thought you were saying me. I was like, what did I do?
No, I'm not disappointed in you.
No, I know. I know. So Moose versus EC3. This buildup had been happening for months, ever since we saw glimpses of EC3 come back at Slammiversary. Even before then, during Moose and this whole journey with the TNA Heavyweight Championship. One of the first people who we thought could challenge Moose for his TNA Heavyweight Championship was EC3. We've got confirmation that EC3 was back at Slammiversary, and then we've been getting these teases and vignettes for months now. And this was the culmination, finally having this match. And again, another surprise. I was surprised of the ending of this match. I think the cinematic quality of it was good, to be honest. I didn't hate it. I thought it fit the EC3 narrative and schematic very, very well. I am very interested in kind of these flashbacks that EC3 was having, kind of this moment of hesitation in which that ultimately cost him the match. And it leaves me scratching my head more that it happened during this match than prior. I would have thought that maybe he was like, right? Like, how come he didn't have this conflict leading up to the match? And he had it, like, it just, for me, it was just so off from the whole thing. Like, they really, really had something good with this. They had something good with this. And the way that they ended, it just, and it does make me believe now, though, that we're not going to see EC3 anymore. I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like maybe this was it. This was more of a short-term program. But then why, I don't know. Then why lose? He could have won and still disappeared for a while. I don't know. I just, for over a title that doesn't really exist. I don't know. I'm confused.
Who are watching live right now?
Explain this to us.
I need you to jump in the chat right now. I need to know.
Help us out. Help us.
What in the world was the payoff of this EC3 story here? Now,
what are we doing here?
Here's the thing. We know he's working ROH. He's already done podcasts. He's already got his vignette going, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I've been preaching both on our reviews and both on the podcast weekly that if EC3 truly wants to control his narrative, that he needs to do something that really hasn't been done. That's worked two major promotions on TV at the same time.
Yep. This
story did nothing but tell me that he did a per appearance contract, and he's gone. And sure, he could come back, but if you come back, like, then why did the story tell the way it did? You know, you woke up the beast inside of Moose, bringing Moose back to the old Moose, or whatever Moose with the aggression, whatever you want to call it. By the way, you can see what happens with Moose tonight on Access TV at 8 p.m. And you can see our review at the conclusion of it. But I would have wished that this would have been done in a way where it left possibilities open, more substantial possibilities open. I mean, quite frankly, winning was the answer for me here.
Yes, yes.
To the point where you're like, oh shoot, he won.
You still would have gotten the result, because I do think that they're talking about Or I think that there's this moment where
Lamar, right there, man. Now what?
Yeah, now what? Now what? Yes, because look, I do think that they've set up some kind of transference almost. There was this moment where yes, his energy shifted in Moose, where now maybe he's aligning or thinking more like EC3. But it also doesn't make sense that he's doing that after a win. I think it would have made more sense if EC3 would have won and then that transference and personality would have hit Moose. That makes more sense. And I don't think Moose would have lost anything by losing to EC3, at all. Nothing, because one, it didn't even seem like the title was up for grabs. It had nothing to do with the title. And literally had nothing to do with the title, even though it was all this buildup about it.
After the title done took a splash, came back, and the title we're about has been more interesting than actually the resolve of this.
I think that Moose could have lost and still moved on with the story, still even looked strong, still had this change in his personality than if he won. It doesn't make sense that he won. However, he's now, or could be transferring some of that energy that EC3 or project, whatever that is. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. So that was a huge surprise to me that Moose went over, and ultimately it looks like EC3, we're not going to see him with the company long term. We may see him again one day, but even then, even if we see EC3 again too, it's not going to have the same impact. Like literally, it's not going to have the same impact because we went through all of that with Moose to lose. So what makes us think that he's going to do any better and do all this again and win?
Yeah. Even Don Callis didn't even know what to really say after the conclusion of the match. He was just like, well, I guess he woke something up. Oh, wait, he said, I guess he sacrificed himself to wake something up in Moose. I don't know. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, if EC3 has been sacrificed for the greater good, what's your story in ROH going to be now? It's just, I don't know. And here's the other thing too. Like, if you're bringing him in for per appearance, I mean, how many times? We only seen him in the ring twice.
Yeah.
We've seen videos and stuff, which they could have all recorded in one day at this
They probably did at that point.
But what was the point of bringing him in if you weren't going to really utilize him? I mean, he was considered one of the hot free agents, but it's because of the idea of everybody saying, well, what are you going to do now that you done went to the E, you done drank from the water. You obviously didn't like it, or maybe your body rejected it. However you want to throw the analogy out there. But it's always that next step, Oh, you know what? I just thought about? Now Eric Young can actually say, he can actually complete his sentence in what he's been trying to avoid in him controlling his narrative. People, just to make this very clear to y'all, if you listen back to Eric Young's promos over the last 2 months, he has religiously said, I am going to control and he pauses because he can't say narrative because that's what EC3
he should take the line. Take it and run with it.
It's now. He is now. But
he has earned that right.
But seriously, everybody who's left the E and went to other places, we've seen them say, well, how are you going to rejuvenate or revitalize your career? How are you going to work on your creative? What are you going to do different? And EC3 definitely had the most talked about one with all the video thing. And now that he done went to first base with Impact, I don't give this I don't give this a good grade at all. It didn't do anything. This storyline didn't do anything for the last 2 months or something, and the payoff just wasn't
there.
And I just again, Moose is gonna be on Impact tonight, so you can see for yourself.
Just see what happens next.
I'm just trying to avoid things. That's why I'm kind of bouncing off words here. But I just say the EC3 payoff here just wasn't it for me. I'm super disappointed in this. I was drinking the EC3 Kool-Aid all this time and saying he can do something really special. And if he does something in ROH, cool, then that's cool. But what he did in Impact, this was not it. This was he swung for the fence, and this was a foul ball here. Like it did not work. The cinematic match didn't work. I mean, hell, even the venue that the cinematic match was in, it could have been something of some importance. I would have loved for it to have been an ROH ring. I would have loved for it to been.
That's true. I don't know if they could have managed that. Maybe if they would have even alluded to it, if there was hints or Easter eggs that made it, whether it's signs of TNA past almost too, or you know, like you don't have to be so blatant and have it, but if there's similar logos or colors or something. But again, too, if at this point, if the end result was the end result, then what does it matter? So,
what's up, Terrence?
Hi, Terrence.
My man.
Hello.
My man. Thanks for jumping in on the discussion tonight. We're just talking about Bound for Glory. We're giving our review. We're a little bit late to the review party, but nonetheless, we're here.
All right.
And, you know, we got our review for Impact on Access TV following up after it airs tonight. Yeah, I mean, again, the set location. First of all, again, all the stake as to unknown location, marking the area around Baltimore, New Jersey that never manifested to anything. I have the right to be disappointed here.
Oh, yeah, no.
Endless possibilities you could have did
They
here.
really did. They did. And it, doesn't really matter.
Boy. All right.
That's all that, at the end of the day, that's all this taught me. Doesn't matter.
Yep. I'm just going to beat the mat like the people were with all their fake energy hyping up the match, because even they knew that this wasn't going good. Oh, boy. All right, X Division. Let's get to that really quick. Now, the X Division match, Rohit Raju, as you call, I guess you could say weaseled his way out of this. There's not so much to talk about this match besides it just being a good match. I think it was a good display of how talented all these people were. I thought the finish was like meh, but like it was a good display of how talented everybody was. And I love Jordan Grace. First of all, Jordan Grace displaying her strength. Willie Mack now knows firsthand. And I love how Jordan Grace says that people online or talk about, you know, how would she be able to compete when she says, like, I'm clearly bigger than 3 opponents in the match.
That's true.
Also, I think this is a really good time to say fuck Sandman for always having something to say about her and body shaming. Like, the shit is absolutely unnecessary. And I hope Jonathan Gresham goes and smack him one day, just for always talking about his wife.
No, I hope Jordan Grace gets to smack him one day. I wouldn't, you know, if Sandman wants to talk that shit, he better be ready to get hit, because you know, she could do it certainly all by herself, because she don't need anybody. She could definitely fight her own battles, and this was exactly what that match proved as well. And again, you know, the X division is one of the strongest divisions of all, and really in pro wrestling. And
Sabu, by the way, my bad. I'm saying
Sabu.
Yeah, Sabu. Yeah, with his body shaming shenanigans. But yeah, everything that you said, totally agree. Like, this is completely unnecessary.
Yes, but going back to the X division, I mean, this too. I mean, Rohit Raju is kind of in his element with these types of things, you know? I mean, we've seen him get skate 3 in one-on-one matches, on 4-way matches, and anything, you know, he knew how to capitalize on this match and let everyone else fight each other and come in at the opportune time to pick up the win. So that is just Rohit's strategy, and as much as it seemed like this stacked the deck against him, he just is now really quite good at pinpointing the exact opportunities he needs in order to take advantage of the situation. So, you know, I will continue to be interested in seeing how he is able to defend that title and hold on to it. It still seems like there's still some unrest in the X division as well. I mean, well, I'm sure we're going to continue to see all of these competitors, Chris Bay, TJP, Willie Mack, you know, everyone's still just in the mix trying to figure out who's going to face Rohit next. But it seems like Rohit is a little bit ahead of the game, and this master of confusion, or master of being able to just, you know, add distractions or put other people in the way. And I mean, it's a really smart strategy. I am impressed. I have to admit, I'm somewhat impressed by his ability to continue to skate through these matches, super competitive matches, on top of being really gifted, athletic and a good wrestler himself too.
Mm-hmm.
If he really applied himself, he could really get somewhere. But why do that when you could just throw a bunch of people together and have them fight each other?
Yeah, Rohit can put on a quality match, just without a doubt. The gimmick's working. He's killing the press now too, getting mainstream publicity. So he's living his best life. And again, I think with what this match did, it leaves the possibilities of anybody being reinserted with the X division. I think the big question now is, how do you take the X division and to the next level when every other division is quickly elevating? We're going to talk about another division in a second, but I think Rohit, as the catalyst of it and what the gimmick does, it absolutely works, and that, again, good solid match. And although he won in the last lackluster way or whatever, overall it doesn't hurt anybody. It just only solidifies that Rohit Raju is the biggest escape artist of all time.
Yes, that's a good word. Good exact terminology.
Yeah, and good for him on the mainstream press. I think that's really awesome. And again, fuck Sabu for body shaming Jordan Grace. Like, she is world-class talent and one of the best wrestlers out there, period. So we have to talk about the 4-way tag match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Now, the only thing I have to say is that we've been really, really looking forward to this match, which many people would have said this was going to be the match of the night. I am a little impartial about that because I really thought the Ken Shamrock and Eddie Edwards match was just really well done. But obviously, Suya and Deonna Purrazzo was the match for me. But Alex Shelley taking a power driver, being hurt on the rant, and now leaving Chris Sabin to solo this match and go forward with it. And he is a workhorse. It's not even a question. The only reason I don't like this is because it's the biggest night of the year. This is when you want everybody to come in healthy and you want to put on the biggest and best display of your talent possible. Unless there's something else, personally, obviously, as to why he couldn't work this match, or they had to do what they had to do, then I reserve all, comments away. But as a fan and a reviewer of it, I absolutely hated that. I was just baffled that they would do such a move like that. Now, when we talked about booking this match, I said I wanted Ace Austin, Madman Fulton to win. Thought they were the underdogs, and I thought it would have just been. I thought it would have just been perfectly fine to really keep everybody really on playing fields here. But the North winning, to me, I feel like it really super resets the division again. I feel like they're, who were at the bottom, now back at the top, and they're heels. To every point that I said that Ace Austin and Madman Fulton should win, the North is legitimately it. I just didn't think you would go back down that road again, because you had. I will say the one thing that's good about this is that, there's been talks about Ethan Page potentially leaving.
Yes, this solidified.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, it does seem to solidify that we're going to continue to get the North as a tag team on Impact, which is a huge plus. They are truly a cornerstone of the tag division, but also just in the company. So for fans of the North, which we are, it's a good thing. But I do agree that it's an interesting way to, you really do reset the tag division after they've had one of the longest runs, the longest run in company history. Now it does seem like we are going to get more of a setup of the Motor City Machine Guns versus the North in a true one-on-one program, which we did get before when they originally lost the belt. So we're revisiting things in a slightly different way, which in all honesty, I don't mind because it's been a while. Maybe that was the purpose behind it, is now it's truly setting up one-on-one between Motor City Machine Guns and the North, and the Good Brothers are going to maybe still be on the peripheral. I don't know about Madman Fulton and Ace Austin. Maybe they're out of the picture for a while. Who knows? But I didn't hate it as much as you did as far as that factor. I could see different reasons as to why they did that in the match. Pretty much putting the Motor City Machine Guns at a disadvantage, and an explanation as to why that could have impacted their ability to retain.
Yeah, but you say that as if like everyone considers them to be the strongest tag team. I think it's without a doubt that your cash cows, the ones that you dropped that Brinks truck next to, is who everyone views as the strongest tag team in the division. That's the Good Brothers. I mean, by experience, I mean, you would have to say the two Motor City Machine Guns and the Good Brothers. I think you could call that a stalemate. But when you think about Big Doc Gallows, I mean, that's a whole different factor there. Him being in the ring is in its own is an advantage. So that's why I'm like, if for the reasons you're saying, I could see that if the Good Brothers wasn't involved in it. But I would have loved to see the best tag teams in their division on their biggest night, all be at full capacity and doing their thing. So again, it had to have been something backstage or whatever it may have been that they had to do this, but I wasn't a big fan of it. But I am a fan of the match. The match itself was dope. And as you'll see tonight on Access TV, there's some implications going forward. That tag team division is still going to be strong. You got other tag teams getting ready to make their case in it as well. So it is what it is. Again, but I don't know. You guys can tell me in the chat, when you watch a pay-per-view, especially the biggest night of the pay-per-view, you look at Bound for Glory as saying, well, this is the end of most of our storylines. Let's put an ice on the cake here and let's go to tomorrow as a soft reset. And this is Bound for Glory was like a passing block or a toll booth. For a lot of these stories, no, it's a good point about. I mean, I think a lot of the surprises does in some ways provide a reset, but with the tag division in particular, it doesn't necessarily feel like. I mean, there is somewhat of a reset with the North coming back up, but I think that there's still a lot that lingers, where it looks like we're going back to square one with the Motor City Machine Guns and the North, which we got, a few months ago already. Yeah. Love to hated. All right, Terrence. So he mentions, I love to hate it in order. So I'm assuming he loved number one and then, or love to hate. Yeah. Oh, it's some more coming. Yeah. So the two main events, like we started off the show talking about tonight, definitely was very, very concrete matches. Loved them without a doubt. But yeah, it's just the most in the machine that tag match for all the building, all the mixing, the matrices that they had in the combinations for these matches, and then you take a key figure out. And I you know what? For me, I was like, oh, he's going to return to kind of save the day. And then he didn't even return.
And he didn't,
Oh, man. I mean, I would have loved if James Storm would have been the one to have taken him out backstage. I mean, and let him be a factor into it. And, you can do a singles run with him. You can do a tag run. You can do so much with James Storm. Who knows? But I wasn't a true fan of it. Yeah. But again, that's storyline talking here. Yeah. The match itself.
Now,
absolutely.
I was gonna ask, are we gonna talk about the big announcement that happened at Bound for Glory? I mean, this is something you've been calling it for months, and I have to eat a little crow because I was thinking, I don't know if it's gonna happen. But
well, yes. I haven't seen you since January of this year. in person, that is.
Yes.
And that was at Hard Kill. And come to find out, back this year, or excuse me, next year, Hard Kill, their next pay-per-view. Yeah. Hard to Kill, excuse me. Hard Kill is something else. Hard to Kill. Yeah. Okay, right. Sorry. Two different things. Hard to Kills. Last time I seen you. Pay-per-view, next pay-per-view. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm just gonna make sure I throw that in there right now. Yeah, you let him walk out your building.
Yes, good point, Lamar. Like they, because what else is James Storm doing? You know, his NWA ain't happening right now. Yeah. You know, NXT isn't, WWE is, you know, give him something to do.
Hey, look. Yeah. All I'm gonna say is watch Impact tonight. You got about 25 minutes until it airs. That's all I'm gonna say about that Moose comment. Watch Impact tonight.
Yeah. Watch it. Watch it. Just watch it.
Yes, but the Knockouts tag team titles are returning. They've been rumored. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan has been saying they want it. It's finally been announced for 2021, the next pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, excuse me.
Yes, Hard to Kill, yep. Yeah,
January 16th, the next pay-per-view. Hey, okay. I'm happy for it. I love that the Knockouts division, tag team division, is making shape. We see some potentials here. Again, watch tonight to Impact
again,
TV.
They've set it up for months now. That's been one of the best things about the Knockouts division, is that they've been setting this up for quite a while, and they've had really organic pairings with singles competitors. So it is going to be an I'm not quite sure so much I don't know if it's been fully announced yet, kind of how they're going to determine the tournament or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's been announced, just tonight. On this show. Yo, I'm seriously, y'all. We're because of spoilers and because of our obligation to not release spoilers. You have to watch our review as it will air at the conclusion.
So, I mean, we'll be finding out how you know things are gonna roll out with this. But again, too, I mean, they've already have things, a lot of things set up over the past few months with the Knockouts, and so there's some very natural teams that you could think of already off the top of your head, like Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan.
I'm just gonna leave this comment up because that's
true. Yeah, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz truly do have some of the best chemistry.
You have them. You have Havoc and Nevaeh, obviously. You will have maybe some other teams form.
Yeah, you got Taya and Rosemary.
Yep, you do have, which this isn't a spoiler or anything, but I've also been lobbying this, is that Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly is a tag team that makes sense. You know, they can do something with that. And you legit need a heel tag team in it. We just named three, well, I guess Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz are heels, but I like them so much that they're just the bomb.com, period. Plug there. But yeah, you have a lot of possibilities of how they can do that. And they got until January to do so. So you got 3 months to really work out the tag teams division, maybe bring some other people in. I mean, considering how they want to actually get this, get the number one, or get, you know, who the contenders will be for it. Maybe they bring some people in for some appearances. I mean,
it worked for some other company out there that recently did something very similar. Just throwing that out there.
Look at this, number 7. Moose and EC3 is your least favorite match of the night, next to the pre-show match. I ain't mad at that one at all.
No, I get it.
I love the Ken Shamrock Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see that Moose EC3 match. Maybe the Call Your Shot Gauntlet is probably
Kevin.
You know, it's just very, very different reasons. Yeah, one is too gimmicky, and one just leaves you scratching your head like, well, why did we do this? Why are we here? Y'all just wasted months of my time that I'm never gonna get back.
That's right. Well, folks, look, we're going to be wrapping up this review for Bound for Glory 2020. Jump in the comments right now if you want to get a shout out before we get up out of here. And then we will be, you know, as you should watch Impact as it's getting ready to air in about 20 minutes on Access TV. And then our review for it will be releasing at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we break down everything that happened in combination with Bound for Glory? And really, where does Impact go forward from here? There's a lot of things that we brought up tonight that we do got some answers to already, but there's still a lot of things that we kind of got to scratch our heads with as to what are they going to do. But, you know, only time will tell, patience, and kind of see how creative kind of pans out. Other than that, Miranda, anything you got really quick before we roll out of here?
No, I definitely want to shout out. Lamar has a really good idea. Maybe Deonna Purrazzo should have a rematch with Su Yung and put Kylie Rae in a triple threat.
See, that's the thing. You have these possibilities here.
Yes.
And the wow factor is we know who Deonna Purrazzo is. We know who Su Yung is. What and who is Kylie Rae coming into that match?
Especially in the dynamic of this match, you know, maybe as she tries to get through to bring back Susie. You know, I mean, there's so many dynamics.
She's never even met.
She's never met. Yeah, she's never. So there's so many things. I love that idea. No, I think just again, there was a lot of surprises. This was probably my worst predictions rate ever in the existence of predictions, which, you know, again, like that could be viewed as a good thing and a bad thing. One, that you really couldn't predict what this card is in wrestling as fans, as observers. You usually feel like you have a good grip on predictions, and this one was completely off. I think there was some things that ended up making sense or will make sense in the long run, and feel like there was still some opportunities that were missed. But it does still leave me optimistic that there's some resets coming up, that now we are having this road to Hard to Kill, and we're going to see what this next chapter of Impact Wrestling leads, you know. Hopefully it means some new people. Hopefully we see people come back. Hopefully, you know, now with these new champions, these are new chapters within the company's history. They continue to grow what works for them and does well for them. But also, you know, we continue to see things that are fairly different from them, that we don't see with other companies. So, you know, I'm fairly optimistic, still trying to process everything that happened, but you know what? That's what we have our Impact Wrestling on Access TV review. So we can kind of review these next few weeks and see, you know, what happens as we get to Hard to Kill.
Yeah, overall, Bound for Glory 2020 was an amazing show. You know, for it to be their biggest show of the year, I felt that Slammiversary was that. But, you know, depends on what you're looking in wrestling for. You're looking for a whole entertainment aspect, or you're looking for pure wrestling. Bound for Glory pure wrestling was just was spectacular. There were some storyline issues that I had because, you know, that's what we do. We're here to break it down, not be overly critical, but, you know, just have fun with it, but also try to keep things a little bit consistent here. But for what happened and everything's worth, you know, and considering what happens tonight, you know, definitely the road to Hard to Kill is going to be very interesting and fun. And I can't wait to see what happens with the Knockouts tag team titles going forward. Again, I would love to see some people being brought in. If they decide, depending on how they want to defend or how they want to establish, the number one contenders. How do they want to
set this whole thing up? Yeah. How do they want to do it?
And or I would love to see, you know, new tag teams be formed. I mean, so many different things that they can do here. I mean, let's not forget Deonna Purrazzo, when she had the Knockouts Championship, she said anybody can get it. She said male, female, alive, obviously, could face her. I would not be mad here if they did an intergender tag team in this. It has been done, folks. So
yeah, I'm a little hesitant because, you know, we're in a different period of women's wrestling, and I know at one point they did have an intergender, but that was more comedic. I really feel like this is another way that they can establish how strong the Knockouts division is as one of the best women's division in all of pro wrestling. If you bring in some of the top independents from around the U.S., or travel restrictions, you know, lifted, maybe around the world,
good point.
They can establish how they are the top, that this is the place that you want to be if you are a women's wrestler, not only for singles competition, but also in tag teams. So I think do what continues to work. Bring in good people, maybe people that are under the radar, people that deserve the opportunity. Give them that platform. We've seen what it's done for Kimberly and Deonna and Kiera and Tasha and even Nevaeh. You know, I mean, they've all been able to flourish and just through being a part of this division. So you continue to do that, Impact, that division is going to remain solid. Let's just, keep it. Let's keep it simple. Let's continue to do what they do best.
That's cool and all, but Johnny Bravo and Madison Rain as a tag team. I mean, Johnny Bravo, Johnny Swinger, and Madison
Johnny
Rain.
Swinger. Okay, okay.
Yeah. First Johnny Bravo and Rosemary. Book it.
yes. Okay. Well, no one's gonna partner with the Swing Man for the knockouts. God only knows. But I could see Johnny Swinger dressing up as a woman. Oh God, let's not give him ideas.
Yeah,
let's not give him ideas.
We're done. All right, but anyway, thank you, Lamar, Terrence. Who else in the chat? Trent, Lamar. I already said Lamar. Yeah, thank you, good people. Outlaw earlier.
Thank you
for jumping in the chat for us tonight. Stay tuned because our review for Impact on Access TV dropping tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We'll see you all next week, folks.